Hey everybody, and welcome to your instructional video on scapular CARs, or controlled articular rotations. Now, a couple things in general about CARs. Number one, we never want to push into pain. That doesn't mean don't move, it just means make your workspace or your movement pattern a little bit smaller. Two, we really want to try to isolate the joint of interest, so try to watch for other parts of the body moving. So maybe the hips, maybe the torso, maybe the neck, maybe something else is going on. Watch for it. And number three, we want to remember to irradiate or to create light tension across the body from head to toe. So with those three things in mind, let's talk about the scapula. Now, the scapula are going to be these winged triangular structures on the back side. We don't think too much about them, but they're really heavily involved in a lot of movement, especially at the shoulder. So they're really thought of as part of the shoulder girdle. So when we reach forward, the scapula slide around the rib cage. When we pull back, they do the same thing. They're also able to tilt. And then as we take the arm up into the side above the head, they actually rotate. So there's a lot the scapula do. So having good fluid movement in them is really important. Now for today, we're gonna walk through scapular CARs without irradiation the first time. And then we'll do it 2 times, 1 time with me facing to the side and 1 time with me facing to the front. So when we talk about our scapular CARs, our initial position is just going to be hands on the thighs. Now, a couple things about the hands on the thighs is that we don't want them to come forward, we don't want them to come back, and we don't want them to come off. So if you need a little bit of an extra cue, you can always grab a couple of tennis balls or any object really that you can press gently into the side of the thighs. If that helps you remember to create that light tension, great. If you start to let loose and something falls, then you know you've kind of relaxed yourself and just want to start back over. Now, the movement for the CARs is going to begin by first protracting the shoulders, which means as the shoulders come forward, the scapula slide around the rib cage. From here, we're going to pretend like we're pushing into the wall in front of us. We're going to slowly raise them up as high as we can. We're then going to pull them back beneath the ears as far back as we can. We'll envision that we're pushing them into the wall behind. We'll slide them down the wall behind as low as we can, then bring them back forward, up where we started, and change direction. We'll go down, pull back, lift up, drive forward, back to where we started, and then retract into their normal position. So that will be the movement. Now, as with all CARs, we want to think about trying to get as big a space as we can. If you experience a little bit of stuttering through the movement or some areas that don't seem to move real well, those would be the areas to maybe spend a little bit more time in. All right, so we'll go ahead and do our first articulation with me facing to the side. We'll take a breath, pack air in the lower abdomen, work it down to the toes. My toes are lightly clenching into the floor. We bring it up the torso, out the arms, down into the thighs. So I'm pushing lightly into the thighs to help me remember to irradiate. From this position, we're going to drive the shoulders forward, again, trying not to move anything else. As we push them forward, we're going to pretend like they're pushing into a wall in front. We're going to slide them up, get as high as we can, pull them back beneath the ears, nice and smooth, like you're pushing them into the wall behind. Slide them down, nice and smooth, lowering. As we get to our lowest, most position, we'll bring them forward again as far as we can. Slide them back up where we started at shoulder height, change direction. Push them forward as we slide them down. Pull them back along that lower edge. When you get as far back as you can, slide them up the backside like you're pushing them into a wall behind. When you're as high as you can, drive them forward beneath the ears, back down to shoulder height, and retract into their normal shoulder position. We'll go one more time, forward facing. Take a breath. Pack air in the lower abdomen, work it down to the toes, up the torso, out the arms, into the hands. Again, lightly pressing. We're going to begin by driving the shoulders forward, like we're pushing into the wall in front. We're going to slide the shoulders up as high as we can, pull them back beneath the ears. Feeling like we're driving into the wall behind, we're going to slide them down that wall behind us. When we get to the bottom, we're going to pull them forward along that bottom edge as they slide around the rib cage. Bring it up to shoulder height, change direction. Pushing forward as we lower, driving down and back, bringing them up behind like we're pushing them into the wall behind us. Pull them forward beneath the ears, lower down to shoulder height, and retract back. Very good. Now, most people, if you're not used to moving your scapula, are going to experience maybe what feels like a little bit of crunching. It's really not actually crunching. It's just your joints beginning to learn how to move properly. And with a lot of time and a lot of consistency and a lot of investment in your joint health and mobility, a lot of that will work itself out probably within the first 2 to 3 weeks. So if you have any questions about scapular CARs, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.